congratulations on your excellent web series, The Grass is Always Grinder, for which the first part of season 2 had just been released. Without giving it all away, can you tell us what it's about?
It's about a young Insta famous guy who is out and proud. He's loud about his sexuality. He's very gay, very kind of like strutting around Soho and working in clubs, who has a romance with a closeted boxer who's black and minority ethnic, BME. And they go down to 56 Dean Street, sexual health clinic, and Adam, who is the boxer, gets diagnosed HIV positive, and it's the repercussions that arise from that. And that's what happens in series 1. Then in series 2, we follow them trying to make their romance work in London, but coming up against complications. Like Adam's trying to deal with his HIV diagnosis. Joe's gone on to PrEP, but Joe's not enjoying sex, and they're not sure why. And so we kind of start at that point and then follow their romance through the episodes. But there are other storylines as well that we look at an older man's sex life, and the sexual health worker Ryan. We go into his past as well, and there are lots of new characters like a 19-year-old DJ and a drag queen club promoter and a chill out host.
You and Luke Davis, who are the director and producers for Dean Street Clinic, before we talk about why, can you just explain to our global audience who and what they are?
They are a sexual health clinic in Soho, but they also do a lot of community work, and they're Europe's busiest sexual health centre. So they see about 13,000 patients a month, and about, I think, 9,000 of those are gay men. So they see a lot of the gay community in London. They look after their health issues. They diagnose most of the HIV cases in London, and they see other issues like chemsex, people presenting with relationships that are car crashing, etc. And so actually when you go to a sexual health clinic to get stories and to research, and I interviewed Dr. Alan McCowan, brainstormed, he's lead consultant there. We brainstormed ideas together before writing the script. You get lots of interesting, realistic ideas about gay men and their sex life that gets closer to the truth of gay men, I think. There's such a cliche and stereotype about gay men being like sex obsessed and and almost a bit one-dimensional figures in popular culture often, that I think once you get underneath that cocky, for want of a better word, bravado, you find a lot more like nuance and layer that we try to portray in the films.
So either way, a sexual health clinic is an unusual partner for a web series. Why and how did this happen?
It came about because Dean Street has a history of approaching these issues through community. There's been plays done around Dean Street. There's been events done, bringing the community together to talk about these issues. And so they set up a new project called Prime, which is to try and prevent gay men getting HIV in London, and people who are particularly high risk are signed up to Prime. And they were looking to do digital content, like really make use of the internet and social media. And so Alan McCowan got in touch with me, and we spoke about doing some video content. We made some pilot series of a young gay man called Joe, who's going about his life in London. They did quite well, and so we decided to do a bigger, better, and bolder series. And here we are with series 2, which has been funded by Public Health England.
And that includes, for stardom last time, Denholm, Spurr, and I can't pronounce his name, Taofique, Folarin, but you've also included new people like my friend Alexis, Gregory, and you had an open cast call for members of the public to get involved. How did that work out for you?
Oh, that was great. We just needed supporting artists to be part of like some of our clubbing scenes and our spectacular finale, which was filmed at Heaven, and lots of people turned up to support Dean Street and to be part of the day, and it was a really great, fun day.
Good stuff. So, but as well as being a filmmaker and a writer, you also host the Gay Men's Wellbeing Forum, Let's talk about gay sex and drugs once a month. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I don't actually host that anymore.
You don't? You did.
No, it's all down now. Yeah, so it's finished. But it was good while it lasted.
Why did you do that?
I did it to get people talking about these issues because I felt that it wasn't being talked about
Mm-hmm.
enough in our community. So I worked for a gay magazine for a while, and I went out to Vauxhall and saw some of the clubs. And in one club, I remember standing there and thinking, every single man on this in this club is off their face on drugs,
Mm-hmm.
and wondered why, and started researching it and talking to various figures within the community, interviewing experts. And what people kept coming back with was because there's such like an illicit stigma about drugs, people aren't speaking about the fact that it's causing harm.
Mm-hmm.
People are dying from G overdoses. There's all kinds of other aspects going on, that people are presenting with psychosis, they're breaking down, they're overdosing and ending up in hospital. There's consent issues. And so I thought, well, let's start getting the community speaking about it, and let's provide a forum so that people can come and actually discuss these matters in a non-judgmental, supportive, friendly space.
Mm-hmm.
And it really worked for that time. But like 3 years of running the forum, I thought it was time to move on personally.
Well, unless we think, sorry.
So I was just going to say, however, we do cover the issues in this series of GRASS IS ALWAYS GRINDR.
Lest we think you're preoccupied with sex, we should also say that we know you most of all as a writer for their wonderful Chemsex Monologues.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about that for us?
That is a play that I wrote about people who end up in this world. And I guess it was kind of like loosely inspired by running things like Let's Talk About Gay Sex and Drugs, etc. And I wanted to, at the time, there was a lot of sensationalism about chemsex, like in the Daily Mail, etc.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to kind of undermine that sensationalism and show the reasons why people might end up in this world and the vulnerability of people in this world as well. There's definitely like darkness there, and it can be like a very emotionally fraught realm, but that just because someone has used a drug doesn't make them a villain. That's what I wanted to show from the play.
Do you think your play and the series and other things like this actually help change attitudes and practices?
I'd hope that it provides empathy, and I think empathy is our greatest tool. And sometimes we don't have the most empathy, especially with social media at the moment. Often there's a sense of excuse me. Often there's a sense of moral superiority on social media where people attack one another, and within the LGBTQ community, people attack one another a lot as well. And really, we're going to be stronger if we have solidarity and empathy for understanding the weakest people within the community, which includes people who are vulnerable and susceptible to drug use, or who have been diagnosed with HIV and are struggling with their diagnosis. So this is my interest in covering those issues and getting them spoken about and providing solidarity. If that doesn't sound too wanky, in the community.
Before we go back to the Grass is Always Grinder, I know that you're a poet, and what I was found interesting was that you found a novel way of publishing your work by making it into a YouTube video with a soundtrack on it. Is this something else you're going to explore further?
Yeah, that was actually a track that was done with a music artist called KDA, and he came to a spoken word night that I run in Dalston called Spoken Word London, and he heard me perform that track. It was about hate. It's about being anti-hate, etc. And I guess outside of my like work that I've done, like the Grass Is Always Grinder and the Chemsex Monologues that have like an emphasis on LGBT issues, my kind of like main aim is being anti-hate crime and trying to work towards a fairer society. Anyway, so KDA came and saw this poem that I did, and he said, "Can you record that and send it over?" And I said, "Yeah, fine," and recorded it in my bedroom, sent it over, and forgot about it. And 6 months later, he sends back this demo with like this amazing beat behind it, and I was like, "This sounds great." Then he went off and had a #1 with Tiny Temper and KTB, and a couple of singles later, he was like, "I want to release your track as a single." And I was like, okay, cool, let's go for it. And yeah, it's out there in the world, which is great. It's called Hate Me, if you want to.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. So this is something you'll develop even more, you think, possibly, as a way of getting your poetry out there?
Possibly, yeah, we'll see. Like, I think like maybe the next step is to release like a poetry collection, but I'm not concentrating. We just released an anthology, an anti-hate anthology, which I've edited, which is a collection of many different poets within London who are contributing against different aspects of societal discrimination.
So let's go back to the Grass is Always Grindr series 2. It's been released one episode a week. Is that correct?
Every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. And how many do we have to look forward to?
10 episodes, definitely.
10. You've got magic time. And then, if we love it, there'll be the Grass is Always Grindr series 3, possibly.
We'll see. We'll see how this one goes down. Yeah, there's definitely there's lots of things to write about, and there's lots of scope and ideas. And I think these characters, I hope that they're engaging enough that people will want to go on that journey with them. I would definitely enjoy following their journey further as well. I
think so, definitely, because I found series 1, which I got addicted to and binge watched, and I was really annoyed there's only 3 episodes for that one. So I'm excited it's 10, and we look forward to, and I hope it's a big success like the first one. I will look forward to talking to you soon when it's the 3rd series.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Roger.
Good to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you too. Take care.
I've been thinking a lot lately about hating. What eats at the heart of hate? Because I hate people every day. I hate tourists on Oxford Street. I hate children on the tube. And I hate slow walkers stopping me getting to my train. I want to grab their faces, say with all that rages, get out of my fucking way. Hate me for a moment. Hate everything I am. Hate me. Hate me because I'm different to you. Hate my words and my brothers too.